What if Archetype Jammingwha Sonic Boom? So yeah, this is based off of Blur's archetype, which is funny considering I made the Blake vs. Blur and MMV like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month. Okay, it's not a month yet, but at least 3 weeks ago. So it's funny that we get a Jammingwha Sonic Boom one. Unintentional for the record, if that was coincidence. But hey, we got a What If archetype made from Unleashed. Let's just get right into it, so this thing hopefully won't be an hour long. Go.
Hello, Beastie. Eshko Knight is back with another What If Archetype video.
Getting Australian.
Today, get your dual runners at the ready, because we're covering the Sonic Boom Saga and the Jammingwha Archetype.
Inspired by Speedroids, no doubt.
So, a quick gist on both of these. Jammingwha and Sonic Boom were both used by Blur from Yugioh Unleashed. The Jammingwha Archetype is a synchro deck which focuses on a bleeding strategy. Whenever any of these cards are sent to the graveyard, they will force the opponent to reveal and banish the top card of their deck face down, effectively limiting their resources. Some cards in the archetype will also benefit from these milled cards.
Correct.
They are inspired by the Fenium race from the Mega Man Star Force series. And just like those characters, they are an energy-based species.
I never played the Star Force
who
series,
have the ability to travel through space at light speed, or fuse with other beings in order to gain a physical body.
That's cool.
They also have the ability to disrupt electronic devices, or just create some high-pitched noise frequencies. Which is the reason why their whole strategy focuses around milling the opponent's deck, because they're basically disrupting it. Anyway, the name Jammingwha comes from jamming and wave.
Because it was, synchro archetype that goes into a dragon.
Saga, they are a handful of synchro monsters with some support, all of which have some way of nuking the opponent's field to get straight to the point. They obviously take some inspiration from a certain blue rat, whose name shall not be said in this video.
Don't you know anything? I'm not a rat, I'm a hedgehog!
Anyway, for this video, we'll be going over both.
I like how
starting with all the Jammingwha stuff, and then going over the Sonic Boom stuff. The order will be normal with the Jammingwha cards, but when we get to the Sonic Boom cards, we'll be going over the Synchro cards first, and then doing the support. So, let's get started then, shall we? I'm Eshko Knight, and this is the Jammingwha Archetype
it's just
and the
Sonic
Boom Saga.
You'll probably get more views that way. The Jammingwha. There's the Great Western Way, and then there's the Jammingwha. Anyway, the monsters. Jammingwha Magenta Heart is a wind level 1 monster. This is what it looks like. Is a Thunder Tuner effect monster with 500 attack and 150 defense. Dang it, so I can't run it over with an 100 attack point monster. Not that I was going to be attacking with a 100 attack point monster. Well, I guess it depends on the monster. But anyway, if a Jammingwha monster you control is targeted for attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, end the battle phase. So pretty alright up. And if we get go, you got a monster that's being attacked? No. Battle phase ends. Not even if you don't. The fact that they have to control a Jammingwha, actually, it's any monster. Well, no, it's a Jammingwha monster specifically. So yeah, it's even better than a battle fader. If this card is sent to the GUI, have your opponent reveal the top card of your deck. Then banish it face down. Well, you're really making your opponent reveal the top card of your deck? Oh, okay. Here's my deck. You look at it. I know it's supposed to be their deck, but Then banish it face down. You can only use this effect of Jammingwha Magenta Heart once per turn. So the special summon effect is the best part. I mean, you can reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and then banish it face down. It's like, so why'd you have them reveal it? Yes, this is definitely, I don't know, you made me get rid of a key card, I guess. Bragging rights at that point, I guess. Meh. It's a wording thing. It's pretty alright. It's mostly just, if you're playing this, it's mostly for the attack negation, not so much the if sent to the graveyard thing. Certainly not for the stats. Jammingwha Black Crow, level 2 wind. Okay, they're all going to be winds in the future, just skip that part. Thunder effect, I'm pretty sure they're all thunders, but don't quote me. 200 attack, 1000 defense. During your main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand with 0 attack points, and if you do, this card treats as a tuner monster. Oh, but it would lose its precious 200 attack points. That would mean if it had, like, I don't know, 2,000 attack points, I guess. On a level 2, like, okay, like 1,500 maybe. But with 200 attack points, it's like, oh no, it was so strong before. You can beat over the previous monster's in defense mode anyway. If this card is into the GUI, have your opponent be the top card of your deck. Okay, that typo is going to be there for a while, so let's just say it says their deck instead. Then banish it face down. You can only use this effect of Jammingwha Black Crow once per turn. So this is going to be the entire gimmick going forward. It's the bleed effect going forward. So I guess I'll just call it the Jammingwha bleed just to cut that on time. So yeah. It's an instant tune-up thing that's the only cause is being like, oh no, it's going to have 0 attack points, which it doesn't have many in the first place. So that's not a cost, it's a condition. Well, it is a cost, but you know what I mean. It's alright, it's good, I'd run it. Jammingwha Cardinal Skull. I like that name. Cardinal Sin. It's a creepy motherfucker too. Got 200 attack and 600 defense. It cannot be normal summoned or set. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing one Jammingwha monster from your hand or GY. And you're not going to be banishing it from your hand. You're probably going to wait until you got one to the graveyard for you to do it, because that way it's less of a cost. The graveyard may be a second hand, but it's like, I wouldn't want to reduce my hand size. I don't know if it's early game, no choice. Well, anyway. If this card is sent to the GY, the bleed effect. So yeah. Other than the bleed effect, so you're milling these 2 cards a turn, which, you know, well, banishing face down. It's not a bleed, it's not a mill effect, because if it was, it would be fucking atrocious. This isn't Dark Scorpions. It's not that great. It's mostly because you gotta banish a card for it. But the fact that if you could banish a card early game, it would probably be a pain in the ass if you open with this thing. Especially if it's the only monster you open with, which could probably happen. Let's be real here. Outside of the Yugioh, outside of scripting duels, yeah. But later in the game, that's gonna be pretty handy. So yeah, I'd run 2 at most though. Jammingwha Pink Phantom, level 2. Okay, it seems they're all gonna be thin. And Thunder's going forward, so let's just skip that part. 400 attack and defense. Disclaimer: the top effect is target one monster you control. Okay, let's see what it is. Discard during your hand. You can discard this card from your hand. Target one monster your opponent controls. Okay, it was supposed to be you control. Good. I'm not giving my opponent power boost, although some cards I think do that. Well, at least 1 or 2. It gains a danger attack until the end of the turn. Okay, pretty handy discard effect. You know, give a monster a power boost. It's alright. Don't go key headbad, but it's okay. If your opponent conducts an attack against a Jammingwha monster you control, you can banish this card from your GY. Change the Jammingwha monster you control to face-up defense position. In case you got a Jammingwha flip effect, it's protection. You're probably going to use the first monsters who just says, stop the attacking in the battle phase before you do that, but it could be worse. It could be worse. Don't ask me how it could be worse. It just could be worse. Well, at least it doesn't blow up your own field, I guess. It discards into your GY, the bleed effect. So yeah. It's okay. If you need a power booster, it's there for you. If you need to switch monsters being attacked in defense mode so you don't lose the duel this very second, it's okay. Yeah, to be fair, in a game where it's just like, if you're hit once, you die, that could save your ass. Not every time, but some of the time. It'd probably be one of those where it's like, I can't believe this saved my ass, you know? Jammingwha Orange Scale, level 2. Got 0 attack but 500 defense. If this card is normal summoned, your opponent can choose one of these effects. Special summon one Jammingwha monster from your hand, or normal summon one Jammingwha monster from your hand in addition to your normal summoner set. Some of the Jammingwha monsters have effects based on if they're normal or special summoned, so that's why it's a scale in this regard. You can only use the following effect of Jammingwha monster. It's the bleed effect. Yeah. I'm iffy on this card, because sometimes it's like, you're really based on what your opponent knows what your deck does, because you got some of the cards that are like, it's better if I'm special summoned, and some of them that are better if they're normal summoned. It's like, yeah, you could special summon, and they special summon Alistair the Invoker, or you could give them the effect of the normal summon the Alistair the Invoker. And I know that there's better cards that they're used as an example with Alistair, but this is just going off my top of my head. So, yeah. I see why this card is ran. I'd probably ran it 2 or 3 myself, but I'm iffy on this card, just legit. There's always a card that's like a luck mechanic that you're always like, I don't know. I mean, freaking Time Wizard is, you blow up your entire board, or you blow up your opponent's entire board. Well, there's more to it than that, but you know. But either way, if you go over it, you get a free monster. Jammingwha Blue Unicorn, level 3. 1500 attack, 400 defense. If a face-up wind attribute monster you control would be destroyed, you can banish this card from your GY, and if you do, negate the monster's destruction. Or you could just have it say, banish this card from your graveyard instead. And then it has the usual bleed effect. Not that great, honestly, especially after the previous two. It doesn't even switch my battle position. It's okay, I guess. It's running at 1 at most. Jammingwha Cyan Crane, level 3. It's like a Bakugan. Don't tell me it doesn't look like the ball form of a Bakugan. It's a tuner monster with 1300 attack and 200 defense. If this card is normal summoned, see, some of them have normal summon effects. This card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 Jammingwha monster from your deck. However, its effect is negated and its level becomes 2. Or if it was already 2, or if it was level 1. Everything like that. You can only use it's got a bleed effect, so let's just skip that part. Oh wait, that actually is, this card's sent to the graveyard, you can have your opponent remove the top card of their deck. So that your thing was a negate, or maybe it was meant to be your the entire time, in which case, why are you banishing your own deck? Okay, it probably was just a typo, to be genuinely fair, because I don't see a world where that... I want to banish my own deck face down. Look, I know we're supposed to be deck thin to get to our play winners, but it's not going to be that good when you're banishing your play winner. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty handy. Special summon monster from the deck and then change its level in a synchro archetype. Do I need to explain to you why this is good? I don't? Good. Bakugan Magician can't be used as synchro material for a fucking reason. Burgundy Plesios. Well, Jammingwha Burgundy Plesios. I think it was a level 3. If this card is summoned, you can special summon 1 Jammingwha monster from your hand or GY. Its effects are negated. Okay. This thing is if it's summoned in general, so it doesn't matter how you summon it. So no matter what you do on Orange Scales, you're getting to be wrong on this one. And to be fair with Orange Scales, again, no matter what one you pick, you're getting a monster out of it, so meh. This card is sent to the graveyard, bleed effect. So yeah, you're special summoning a monster, sure the effect is negated, but you're not playing this, it's not going to be in the field long enough for that to matter. You're using a synchro material, and that's it, probably. Jammingwha Crimson Crab, level 4. Maybe the previous ones are level 4 monster. I could go back and check, but that would require work. It is a tuner monster with 1600 attack and 400 defense. If this card is summoned in any way, add 1 Jammingwha card from your deck to your hand. You only use then the bleed effect. Look, on summon, fetch your entire archetype from deck to hand. Well, not your entire archetype. They're grabbing like 37 cards, but you know what I mean. I don't need to explain this is good. And it's a tuner on top of that. Jammingwha Red Ox, level 4. 1800 attack, 1200 defense. Nice on a level 4. If this card is normal summoned, you can send 1 Jammingwha monster from your deck to the GY. If this card is sent to the GY, have if you're male. It's a male card. Some of them have graveyard effects as we've established, so not all the graveyard effects are good per se, but there could be better ones coming up. So I'll cross it when we get to it. Oop, wrong button. Your immersion's ruined. Turquoise Beast, level 4. 1800 attack and 1000 defense. You can destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, and if you do, special summon 1 Jammingwha monster from your hand. This thing's cost is to blow something up to special summon a free thing. Do I need to explain why that's good? No? Good. The only downside of this is which case, like, your opponent doesn't have any background, in which case, oh no, I still have an 1800 attack point beater. Not much of a cost. So, it's, yeah. Blow up a back row and summon a Jammingwha from hand. Nice. Now the synchro monsters. Just going right to the synchros. Well, it's Sonic Boom, so no surprise. Jammingwha Violet Maiden, level 3. Is a Thunder Tuner Synchro Effect monster. Notice I didn't say I said I was going to do the Thunders anymore, but I lied. Its requirements are 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner wind monster. It's got 1300 attack and 1400 defense. If this card is synchro summoned, have your opponent reveal the top 2 cards of their deck, and if you do, banish those cards face down. Get right into the bleed effect immediately, and it's a mill 2. Probably on top of the 2 you used to make, so that's a mill 4 in general. Once per chain during your opponent's turn, you can, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using this card you control, quick effect. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effects, you can have your opponent reveal the top 2 cards of your deck if you do advance this card face down. Yeah. I like how it has the once per chain and then the quick effect all the way at the end. What? If it gets destroyed, you're getting a couple mils, so I guess that's handy for the archetype, but not that great. And this came out in 2015. I don't follow it up 50 years either, so don't worry about it. I'm just making wisecracks. It's a Synchro Tuner monster. I'm going to summon this thing with Huggy Firebrax, not legitimately. Actually, I'm not summoning this thing at all because it's not real. Indigo Asteroid, level 5. It even looks like Mega Man. I don't know how to do references sooner. It takes 1 tuner plus 1 Jammingwha non-tuner monster. It's got 2100 attack and 1200 defense. Once per turn, target 1 level 4 or lower Jammingwha monster in your GY. If you do, this card gains attack equal to that target's until the end of the turn. This card destroyed by battle card effect. Reveal the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck face down. Banish them. Reveal the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck and then banish them face down. It's a beat deck, considering you can only choose a level 4 or lower kind of decks, but hey, you can get that 1800 attack one and give it 3900 attack. It's something to sneeze at. It's alright. Jammingwha White Wolfsbane, level 6. 2400 attack, 2100 defense. Takes 1 Jammingwha tuner monster plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. If your opponent banishes a card, which they're going to do because of your Jammingwha's effects, you inflict 200 damage for each card. What is this, a Trick Star? This card destroyed by a banish, the bleed effect. Times 2, considering the top 2. It's okay. It's saved mostly by its high stats and the fact that sometimes you do need to like bit by bit burn, but it's like this thing is really freaking lame. Like this is their level 6. What do? I do burn every time you banish one card to your deck, which is my entire archetype. Okay, actually now I'm saying it loud, it sounds great, but it's just like I feel like it could have been more, you know? I don't know. Jammingwha Yellow in Gemini. It's a level 7 monster. It takes 1 Jammingwha tuner monster plus 1 or more non-tuners. The archetype's a lot. 2700 attack, 2100 defense. If this card attacks a monster whose defense is higher than this card's attack, change that monster to defense position, and if you do, inflict piercing damage. Wait. So if I use like freaking a monster that has higher defense than this thing's attack, you're gonna force me into defense position and then inflict piercing damage. Bitch, I'm stronger than you. What's that gonna do? I imagine that was a typo and it was meant to say if your monster's attack is higher, or that monster's defense is higher than its attack instead of this card's attack, or something like that. Just one of those where it's like, what? Also, if this card is destroyed by battle card effect, the bleed effect times 3. Besides the wording issues, otherwise it seems fine. It just feels like that wording issue is a bit of a thing, because now I'm like, so if its defense is higher than its attack, so if like my monster, like, I don't know, doesn't your defender with 2700 attack, because for some reason attack position, it would go to defense mode and do damage. I mean, it's still going to be lower than this card's attack, so they're going to break even. I'm just using it. Okay, maybe Big Shield Gardener, I guess, with 2600 defense. Why would I want to switch it into defense mode? My thing is weaker. I mean, it's probably, to be fair, if it's got like over 2700 defense points, it's probably a really big monster. Like 9 times out of 10. But you know. The Labyrinth Wall to defense. Scarlet Leo, which is a level 8. Oh boy, this one's a mouthful. 3000 attack and 2400 defense. It takes 1 Thunder Tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner. When this card is Synchro Summon, excavate the top 3 cards of your deck. It's supposed to summon any Jammingwha monsters excavated with their effects negated and send the rest to the GUI. On Synchro Summon, check the top 3 cards of your deck and summon up to all 3. Or minimum 1. I guess minimum 0 because you could just draw no Jammingwha cards, but that's not happening very likely. You can destroy 1 Jammingwha monster you control, and if you do, have your opponent reveal the top card of their deck equal to the destroyed monster's level. Then have your opponent banish those cards face down. If this card is destroyed by a battle card effect, bleed effect times 3. It's interesting how you could tribute a monster to force the opponent to use the effect, but I guess if you banish tributing a high level one, that's going to be a lot of milling. Like, yeah, milling doesn't win much nowadays, but you know, it's nice. So yeah, this thing's mainly going to be played for its first effect, less than its second effect, but it's still alright. So yeah, it's good. Green Nova is a level 8. It's got question mark attack and 0 defense. It takes a Jammingwha tuner monster plus 1 or more non-tuners. If this card is synchro summoned, its attack becomes equal to that of all of your opponent's face down banished cards times 500. If your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, quick effect, you can reduce this monster's attack by 1,000, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. If this card is destroyed by a battle card effect, it's into the graveyard, do the effect times 5. And you can only use each effect of the Nova once per turn and only have 1 green Nova face up on the field. With all your milling you're doing, banishing face down you're doing on this thing, it's going to be freaking a hell of a lot of attack points. Although it only gets the attack points if it's synchro summoned. So if you're like Monster Reborn, it's not getting any attack points. It's a specific condition, so yeah. If it's really good late game, but early game it's probably not going to have that much. But the fact that it has a negate is pretty handy. You don't have too many of those to unleash. They exist, definitely. Not as prevalent as expected, I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Spells and traps. Jammingwha Disruption, normal spell. Negate the effects of one face-up monster in the field. If you do, add a Jammingwha monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use one Jammingwha Disruption per turn. This should be a quick play. I think I saw this one when Blur came right back on the battlefield. Just like, okay, activate this card, which immediately negates your monster's effect unless we search a Jammingwha monster. Do I need to explain why this is broken? I don't? Good, we can all move on. The only downside of this thing is that it doesn't blatantly say quick play. Wave Change, continuous spell. Once per turn, if your opponent reveals the top card of their deck by the effects of a Jammingwha card, activate one of the following effects depending on what it was. Oh, so this is going to be based on... So you keep revealing the top, making your opponent reveal the top card of their decks. And now this is the payoff as to why. This card. Monster. Add one Jammingwha card from your deck to your hand. Nice. Spell. Draw one card. Also nice. Trap. Banish a random card from their hand. Okay, that's pretty okay. Unless they have no cards in their hand, in which case that could be the worst of the three, but... The trap's usually the worst of the 3 types of monsters. So, fair enough, I guess. It's good. It gives you a reason to be revealing the cards, and it's just nice overall. So yeah, good card. That's all I can say, really. All 3 effects are good. Star Force, normal spell. Special summon one Jammingwha monster from your GY, however its effects are negated. Also make its attack 0. That 200 attack one is very petrified right now of losing its 200 attack points again. If the special summon monster was not a synchro monster, have your opponent reveal the top card of their deck for each level that monster has, and then in bleed effect. It's expecting to bring back a synchro monster and then do that, because at most they're going to be milling 4 cards, considering there's only the highest level was in the Jammingwha archetype of 4. So, alright. That would be completely broken if it was allowed for the synchros, though. Consider the fact that, well, Jammingwha Synchro is a level 8. Well, the Green Nova is a level 8, I meant to say. So, yeah.
Hello.
Oh, for fuck. I done goofed. Oops. At least it was like halfway through reading a card. Anyway, let's just move on. Close enough to where it was. Jammingwha Space Gift. Nice. Moving the claw, grab the J's Reviews logo. Discard one Jammingwha monster from your hand, draw 2 cards. You can use one Jammingwha Space Gift per turn. It's a freaking... Do I need to explain why this is good? No. Then we'll move on. Jammingwha Debris. Banish one Jammingwha monster from your GY with an even number level... Okay, so that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. I don't know if there's a Jammingwha level 12 monster yet. Banish it, then draw cards equal to half its level. Not half of it. Given the fact that the highest Jammingwha monster so far has a level 8, you can banish that thing and then draw up to 4 cards, which is nothing to sneeze at. You cannot attack your opponent. It's directly the turn you activate this effect. Oh, you cannot attack your opponent directly. Sorry, for some reason I read like it was 2 different sentences. Also, during the end phase, banish your entire hand and take the equal to the number of cards you banish times 1,000. Okay, I draw my 4 cards, summon a monster, and then set 3 cards face down. No cost. I mean, it isn't unfair, given the fact that you have a bit of a restriction and you take burn during the end phase, but it's like, yeah, it can be pretty broken. But to be fair, You have to wait to get the level 8 out on the field and then have it be set up for this thing. So it's not the easiest. Odds are you're going to be using this on like a level 4 maybe and then draw 2 cards. It has to be, and that's why it has to be an even number, because there's no halfway of an odd number. We saw what happened with fucking Yugi versus the freaking Leon Wilson. Or Leon Schrouder, I think. Forget. Jammingwha World, Field Spell. If this card is activated, add one Jammingwha monster from your deck to your hand. It's a staple, add a card from deck to hand. It's a staple for, Unleashed Universe cards. Looks at the frickin' soul stuff that Blake had. Anyway, once per turn of a Jammingwha Synchro monster is synchro summoned to your side of the field, have the bleed times 2 effect, and that affects still once per turn. Well, you can only activate one Jammingwha World per turn, so the effect isn't once per turn, but well, actually no, it is because it sets in the card decks. And you only activate one per turn, so it's effectively a hard once per turn. Fetch an archetype from deck to hand, gives your monster protection, and allows for extra mills. Good card, don't need to explain why. Also submitted 2021, nice. Jammingwha Phase Motion, trap card. Special when one Jammingwha monster from your graveyard. If this SAT card is destroyed by a card effect, inflicts 1,000 damage to your opponent. It's okay. It does what it needs to do, nothing more, and it has a little extra burn on top of it. It's okay. Jammingwha Junction. Activate only if you control a Jammingwha monster. Have your opponent reveal cards from their deck equal to the number of cards in their hand. If you do, banish those cards face down. You only use one Jammingwha Junction per turn. Okay, so they're just revealing whatever cards they want, because it doesn't specify on top of the deck. It just specifies in their hand, or in their deck in general. So, and it's based off of how many Jammingwha monsters we control. So, if you've got a full board of Jammingwhas, you can make your opponent get rid of up to 6 cards, which isn't that good in hindsight. Well, actually, no, they had to have 6 cards in their hand. So, if you do this early game, like they're going second line, okay, I immediately activate this. Good. Just very potentially strong card, but also kind of like the later in the game we go, the worse it gets. But Jammingwha Jump Force, Continuous Trap. Special summon one Jammingwha monster from your GY in face-up defense position. It cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. If this monster special summon leaves the field, destroy this card. If you do, real tough card, you mill times 3. And you use the wrong there. Whoops. English is hard. It's like the previous one. They're just like, okay, if this activates special summon thing from grave. Okay. This thing at least gives extra protection on top of that. So this is better. So just run this. And it gets rid of itself when the monster leaves the field, which can be handy. Jammingwha Noise Motion. Activate during your opponent's turn, and only if you control a Jammingwha Synchro monster. Very specific. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of face-down banished cards they control times 200. This is used late game, that's a pretty dang big burn, I gotta say. On top of Nova on top, potentially, with that. So yeah, very good card and very nice. It's a win more card, but I guess it's probably won at least one. The Sonic Boom Saga. I would have paid so much money if he just put to actual Sonic Boom, like with sticks and all that crap. Okay, level 6 monster. Sonic Boom Dragon. It's a dragon synchro effect monster with 2600 attack and 2100 defense. If this card is synchro summoned and to destroy all other cards on the field, this card cannot attack the turn you use this effect. Okay, the end is unnecessary. This card was like made in I believe that 2015. So yeah, on summon, destroy every other card on the field, although it can't attack this turn. So yeah, pretty dang balanced card overall in that regard. It's been updated since then, but it's still a pretty handy card. So that you just need to just nuke the field. Also like how it has 2100 defense and 2600 attack, because usually the protagonist age monsters have 2500 attack and 2000 defense, and this is one step beyond. Super Sonic Dragon is a level 9 monster. I had to count that. It takes 1 Crystal Synchron plus 1 Sonic Boom Dragon, so it's even more specific on what it needs. And we didn't get to see Crystal Synchron, because it's not a Jammingwha or a Sonic Boom monster. It has 3100 attack and 2600 defense. It must first be Synchro Summoned. If this card attacks a monster, destroy all cards in your opponent controls. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. During your end phase, banish 1 Wind attribute monster from your GY. Otherwise, return this card to extra deck. If this card would leave the field, special summon 1 Sonic Boom Dragon from your GY. This thing attacks, it blows up all their cards the opponent controls, any cards in general. It's immune to being destroyed, and the only cost of this thing is that your end phase you got banished a Wind monster, which is handier late game than earlier game, but this thing can also be a freaking, early game. This thing can also be a nuisance. So take what you get. At least unlike the nails, is when it leaves, it gives you something. So yeah, great card. Hypersonic Dragon is a level 12 monster. Yep, just fact checking myself. Alright. It takes 1 Synchro Tuner plus 1 Super Sonic Dragon. It has 3600 attack and 3100 defense. It must be Synchro Summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can banish all cards your opponent controls. Just in general, all of them are gone. This card cannot be destroyed by battle and cannot be tributed, so no kaijus. It is unaffected by all card effects, even your own, unfortunately, but you gotta take. But hey, for infinite protection, you gotta take that bullets. During the battle phase, this card gains 200 attack for each card in your opponent's banished card. For each of your opponent's banished cards. During other player's end phase, banish 2 Wind monsters from your graveyard, or return this card to the extra deck. If this card leaves the field, special summon 1 Sonic Boom Dragon from your graveyard. Not Super Sonic Boom, regular old Sonic Boom. You're right back to square one. Well, not square one, square 2 at the very least. Yeah, it does all that in a bag of chips, but without summoning conditions specifically, yeah, it makes sense to why. It's a very powerful card, banishes all your opponent's monsters, has lots of protection, and gets lots of extra attack. So, yeah, good card. Great card even, there's a reason it's the ace. Sonic Boom Dragon Assault Mode. I forgot I had an Assault Mode, to be perfectly honest. It's level 8. It's got 3100 attack and 2600 defense. It cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned with Assault Mode activate, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card is special summoned, destroy all cards your opponent controls. Also inflict 500 damage for your opponent for each card not destroyed by this effect, if any. So ironically, it's punishing you having protection. Nice. When this card leaves the field, when this card on the field is destroyed, you can target 1 Sonic Boom Dragon in your GY, special summon that target. It's an alright Assault Mode. On summon, blow up the field, and if anything survived, burn. It's like it's expect. This thing came on the field knowing there's bullshit protection nowadays. It was fully prepared for that. I see, you got a field full of 6 monsters that can't be destroyed, you say. I summon Sonic Boom Dragon Assault Mode. You know you can't blow up my board, right? Oh, wrong actually, because I can deal 3k damage. And get rid of your back row if you had any. So yeah. Handy ass mother flipper. Sonic Wyvern. Just adding extra stuff. Level 3 is a super sonic, I guess, in a sense. It's a dragon effect monster with 1300 attack and 550 defense. If this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 Wind Tuner monster from your GY with its effects negate. If this card uses Synchro material of a Wind Dragon Synchro monster, that monster can be destroyed by card effects. Also, or if this card uses Synchro material for a Sonic Boom Dragon, that monster can attack this turn and use its effect. That's handy because it gets around the cost of it. So yeah, it's a nice card. I wish it kind of did both, but I guess works in this case either way. I want to know what other kind of Wind Dragons he's summoning though if it's not Sonic Boom Dragon. Is this motherfucker playing Clear Wing Synchro Dragon? I knew it. So yeah, good card overall. Now here's Crystal Synchron, level 3. Is a Rock Tuner effect monster with 300 attack and 1000 defense. If you control a level 5 or higher Wind Synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's not much returns to summon 3 of these fuckers and summon a Battleship Dianthus. How many of you people looked at the Battleship Cruiser Dianthus? How sad of you. You're following the ideas of a recording. Just sad. This thing's okay, it mostly sucks though. Just because you gotta have a level 5 or higher Wind Synchros, particularly in the field, just special summon this guy, get out of here. Although it is the only way to, I think, super hypersonic, so meh. Sonic Maiden, level 3. Jesus wants a hug! He'd like if you like that reference. Fairy Tuner effect monster with 1300 attack and 1000 defense. This card's name becomes Crystal Synchron while it's on the field. Nice, that's pretty handy. Gives you more than just the original Crystal Synchron. If you control a Sonic monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Nice, so it's got a special summon condition, which is good. If you would take battle or effect damage while you control a Sonic monster, you can banish the card from your GY, reduce the damage to 0, and if you do, target one Sonic monster you control. It gains attack due to the damage you would have taken until the end of the next turn, so it's an encode talker in a sense. You can only use this effect of Sonic Main once per turn. You don't even need to play the original Root Crystal Synchron. I guess you can play one of it if you really wanted to, but otherwise this thing is completely out stacking because it does so much more. Sonic Boom Alternative Dragon is level 6. God, I forgot how many alternative forms this thing had. Anyway, it's a dragon effect with 2100 attack and 2600 defense. It's got reverse stats of the Sonic Boom Dragon we all know and love. If you control a level 6 or higher Wind Synchro Dragon monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So if you've got any of these supersonic forms, if you've got like Sonic Boom, Supersonic, or Hypersonic, this thing can summon itself, so that's handy. Actually, if you just control Clear Wing, this thing can be summoned too. Yeah. Once per turn, you can target and destroy one face-up card on the field. You can tribute this card special summon up to 2 Jammingwha monsters, one from your deck and one from your GY. The combined level must equal 6 or lower. You can only use each effect of Sonic Boom Alternative Dragon once per turn. It's a pretty handy effect that is all in a bag of chips, which is nice to have in the archetype, and summoning monsters from the deck is always appreciated. So, yeah. And blowing stuff up is nice.
And that is another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! What If Archetypes done.
Nice.
Let me know what you thought of these cards, and if you fancy playing them yourself, you can now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling Book.
I might. Probably won't, though.
With some few exceptions, mind you.
Yeah.
Regardless, drop a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys next time.
The Jammingwha are a cool archetype. I like them. They're not my favorite archetype from Unleashed. They might be in the top 10, I guess, if I made up one of those things. But overall, I think they're pretty cool, and I'm glad I checked it out. Yeah. Jammingwha and Sonic Boom are my favorite, but I do like seeing them duel. It's one of those where it's like, I would never play this IRL, but I like other people playing it, if that makes sense. So, yeah. It's cool. Glad I checked it out. And I'm glad I learned that it wasn't just freaking, Diet Speed Voids. I might just check out Mega Man Star Voids now, because now I'm interested. Later.